When they asked us to do this project about Cane Hill, I was kind of nervous because it's so small. I thought, well, there's only going to be 3 or 4 songs about this little town. And the museum, oh, I could spend every day in that museum and still find more things. There are so many stories. We probably could write another whole CD about this town. The Trail of Tears came through here. I love that this college that we're in was one of the first college, well, the first college in Arkansas to allow women to come here. And there was a pottery factory here, and sometimes we think of ourselves kind of like archaeologists because, you know, they dig up stuff, and pottery is one of the things that remains. A lot of times in digs, the pottery is what remains, and so the fact that there was a pottery factory here is really cool because the clay, apparently here in Cane Hill, was the perfect clay for making pots. And I just every time I go to the museum, I see something else that I'm like, oh, I wish we would have written a song about that. Those are very cool.
They're doing all this beautiful work here. They're restoring these buildings. They're digging up all this history. It's a remarkable effort underway, but people need to know about it. And that's kind of our job. You know, when it came to writing the songs, first of all, we did some research, and that was the first step. And we did some oral history. We read all the documents that have been written in this area, and there's quite a few. And then, of course, there's the museum itself, and there's a lot of artifacts in the museum, and each one of those artifacts kind of has a story. We got help from Lawrence. We got help from who's the curator at the museum. We got help from board members who, most of which grew up here and have firsthand knowledge of this area. And so there was a research phase, and then we go into the songwriting phase, and that's where Donna comes in. She's just magical. She's the first stage. I mean, I help, but really the bulk of the songwriting comes out of her. She has this ability to take a story and turn it into a song, and it happens quite quickly. So within a couple months, she had most of the songs roughed out. And then it's my job to come in, edit the songs, kind of arrange things, put the instrumental breaks in, then take it into the studio and record it. This is a year-long process, basically. And then once they're all recorded, and we do our recording ourselves, and we play all the instruments, and it's always acoustic. So we try to keep it very rootsy. You know, we try to be respectful of the roots of this area, because this area just doesn't seem, it wouldn't go with a bunch of electronic instruments. And that's what we like anyway, is the old style instruments. And then finally, after all that's said and done, we make the CD, and then the last task is to learn how to play these things with just 2 people. Because the CD itself has lots of instrumentation, upright bass, mandolin, banjo, guitar, fiddle, other things. And so we had to figure out how to narrow it down to just 2 people. And that's really fun. That requires a lot of resourcefulness to try to paint the picture with just 2 people. But that's what we do. And then we've just finished that process, and here we are tonight at the grand unveiling. It couldn't be in a more appropriate place. We're right here at Cane Hill College in the very room. There's 2 songs on this collection that are about this building. You know, so it's a dream come true for us.
The last 4 projects we've done have been about the Ozarks, which I love this. This is my home. And to be able to come into a town like Cane Hill that has such deep roots and tell the stories has been just such a joy for me.
I think this audience is really kind of a support group, people that are interested in Cane Hill's history, people that have been supportive of the board. And so this kind of feels like an inside job. You know, I think a lot of these people know the stories. And I bet there's some people in here that are related to some of the people we're going to sing about tonight. I know that for a fact.
And I hope we got everything right.
And I'm sure we didn't.
I'm sure we didn't.
You know, because
probably took some liberty, creative, what do you call it?
We don't think of ourselves as academics. We're storytellers. And we try the best we can to be accurate, but we don't get out we don't fine tune it.
We may embellish sometimes.
Yeah.
So.